Hey everybody, I was talking to one of my friends on Facebook tonight and it made me remember a lot of the funny things that happened when we were hanging out. I met her when I moved to Florida. I moved to Florida and met her in 99. I want to say it was 99, the year that I met her. We didn't really become best friends for a few months. We lived in a little trailer park called Buccaneer, and it was just a little trailer park. It was like 26 acres. It wasn't very big. And everybody knew everybody, but it was a great place to live. I loved it. You had all kinds of the different varieties of personalities. You had retired military there. You had those Vietnam vets that had their drinking and drug issues. You had single moms. You had Hispanic families. You had middle class blue collar people. You had people on welfare. You had people that worked really hard and had really nice double wides in the middle of all these shitty mobile homes. And it was an absolute melting pot of cultures. It was great. Some people didn't speak English, some did. I loved it there. I did. I loved it. It was great. So it was Lisa and Sherry and me. We were like the three musketeers. Well, after Sherry moved there from Virginia, she wasn't there at the beginning. And like I got to reminiscing the shit that I did. I bought this. I bought this earlier tonight and thought, oh yeah, Doug said get one of those Rita things, and you like those. So I did. I picked a mango Rita. I hadn't planned to drink it, but I don't know, I got a second wind or something. So I am going to sit here with you all, and I'm going to have a mango Rita. I've never tried it before. Let's see how it tastes. Oh, that's good. That's really good. That's the best one they've got. I met Lisa, and our kids were the same age. She had a bunch of kids. She had a clan. I had three. And well, she only had four, but her son and my son were the same age. Her daughter and my daughter were the same age. But they went to school together. Our daughters were in the same class. We knew that was going to be trouble from word go. Kindergarten, they were going to fuck up. We knew it, and it was going to be great. We were prepared for that, and it did. It happened. She calls me up and goes, "Did you get a call from the school?" I was like, "Nope. I just got out the bed." Ashley and Shane jumped a little boy on the playground, beat the shit out of him. I was like, well, then he had it coming, because that ain't the way they are. They don't act like that. It was pretty funny. It was pretty funny to me. It kind of told me the personality that she was going to have when she got older. And I was right. She don't take no shit now, and she's going to be 19 in a month. And she don't take no shit. My first response to the whole thing with the little boy being beat up, I said to Lisa, what kind of fucking pussy is that? He just got beat up by two girls and then admitted it. I was pretty ruthless back then. And then she'd have like weekend bonfires and invite everybody over. Everybody would bring something to eat, and coolers would be full of beer. And if you wanted liquor, you brought your own liquor. It was fun. We had fun. We had the music blaring outside and nobody ever complained. It was great. We had a lot of fun. It was Florida. The weather was amazing. But we could have the bonfires even in the wintertime. And it was just really great. There was an incident where a lady, she passed away. Well, her daughter was mad at me. She was mad at me, and she came to the party. We were all sitting around the bonfire, and she started running her mouth to me. Running her mouth. She had just got off work and she was drunk, and I looked at Lisa and I was like, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna ruin this party. Let her run her mouth. Let her run it. I was fine with her running her mouth until she got in my face, in the chair that I was in, and started screaming in my face that her mama was dead. She just kept saying it and kept saying it until I finally looked up and said, bitch, I didn't kill her. And she shoved me. And when she did, I flipped backwards in this lawn chair. It was on. It was on. We were throwing down. And then they got us apart. Lisa said, Corey, you need to leave too. And I went, I ain't leaving. She went, okay. So I stayed. I was like, I'm not leaving. I didn't do anything. I ain't fucking leaving. So I didn't leave. And the girl ended up leaving, and she was out at the street, and there were cars parked outside the gate where she couldn't, see me from the road very well. I think it was New Year's Eve of '01, I think. It might have been '02, probably '02. She was screaming something at me from the road, calling my name, and I said, yeah. And then as she was talking, I ducked down while she was busy running her mouth, and I ran where she couldn't see me. And by the time she was done running her mouth, I had already exited the yard, exited the gate, went between the cars, and popped up right in front of her. The look on her face when I got a hold of her, it was great. I tore that ass up. She worked as a waitress at a sports bar at the beach, and she had to wear glasses. She had to wear shades. When we left there, they got us apart, and she left. I went back to my party, and I went ahead and left and went home just shortly after that. And I get home, and I go next door to talk to my friend, and next door, the lady that lived next door to me, and that girl's sitting there. And she starts running her mouth again. And I was like, you know what? We're taking this outside. We're not doing this in my friend's home. So we go to walk out. My son was with me, and he was little then. He was like maybe 9, maybe 8. I think he was like 8. And he goes down these steps, and the back porch light was off, and he fell. And when he fell, she was behind me, and all I could think was, if you push me, you're dead. If you push me, you're dead. And when he fell, she laughed and said, that's why your son fell down. I turned around and grabbed her and threw her over my shoulder, jumped on top of her. We went round 2. And then it was over with. I went home, she went home. And the next day I saw her walking to the bus stop to get her bus to work, and her face was beat up, but you know, and that's the way it goes. And yeah, I was full of a bit of shenanigans. And then there was the time we were at a party at Lisa's house, and she was dog sitting for somebody, and the dog got out, and the dog's name was Nikita. So everyone's screaming for Nikita. I said, I'll jump in my minivan and I'll ride around the back of the trailer park, see if I see the dog. So I did. And I hit a tree. And I backed up and went on ahead and went back to my friends. I don't remember hitting the tree, even to this day. But the cops got called, somebody over there by the tree where I hit the tree on the other side of the park. And the cops came, and it was bad. It was bad. And I sat in that van while there were like 6 police cars around. It felt like I sat in that minivan for like 45 minutes. I don't know how long it was. I was really drunk. They opened the van door and they said, Corey. I said, yeah. And I thought I was going to jail. And they went, go home. I went, what? They went, go home. Get out and go home. I got my ass out. And I was walking home. I got to the other side of the trailer park, and I started running in a zigzag pattern so that the cops couldn't shoot me. I don't even know what I was thinking. And then I ran into the woods, across the field and into the woods, and I hid behind some trees. And I was watching as the cops left, and I was like, yes, like I outran the cops. I was so drunk. I don't even know. Man, my shenanigans were so bad. There was the time that we were having like a legal issue with the parents of one of the little girls that played with our kids. She had heavily damaged a lot of our shit, and we sued, and we won. Obviously, the family was mad at us, and we were at Lisa's. It was just me, Lisa, and her husband, and she comes staggering over, and she walks up the steps to the porch, and we're sitting there, and Lisa goes, oh shit. And I was like, no, it's cool. And when she got up to the top of the steps, I had a shot of liquor, and she popped her head up and saw me and went, fuck. And I went, what's up? Have a shot. I was like, peace offering. I ain't fighting you. I ain't fighting you. I ain't arguing with you. And she did the shot. Everything was cool. Everything was fun. So then we had to walk to the store, buy a beer. And it was me and Lisa and this woman. And we have to cross over a creek. We have to cross over this creek. And I put my arm around this woman's neck, told her how much I loved her. She was awesome. You're so awesome. I love you. And she was like a rag doll. And I grabbed her and I said, we should go swimming. And I was dragging her towards the creek, and Lisa goes, don't throw her in the water, Corey. Don't throw her in the water. There's leeches in the water. And the whole time, this woman's going, I can't breathe. You're choking me. It's like, yeah, no, shut up. So anyway, I didn't throw her in the water. I tried to, but I didn't let go. I was nice for the rest of the time. But I was ruthless. Was so ruthless. I'm not even going to get into the time that I got arrested, because I gave that cop hell. Big time! The things that I did to that cop then, if it happened now, they would have hog-tied me, tased me, maced me, and probably shot me. Times have changed a lot. I had all kinds of shenanigans. We had a lot of fun. One New Year's Eve, Lisa and her husband and me went a few doors down and woke up an elderly couple. And one of the woman, she only had one leg. So we're waking her up. We're like getting her out. Get out of the bed. Get out of the bed. You missed the New Year's. She was like, it's over with. And we were like, oh yeah, it is. But we're not done partying. It was just us three. So we woke them up, and the husband was like, she's in her bed. So we went wake her up, and she goes, well, hold on a minute. She reaches over to grab her fake leg, and we're like, yeah, put your leg on. Let's go. Come on. So she comes out there, and she turns on her stereo. This is an elderly couple. She turns on her stereo and lights her cigarette, and they're sitting there drinking their beer again. We done dragged them out of the bed. And then me and Lisa's husband decided we were going to have a foot race in the trailer. And then we decided, no, we're going to tackle each other in the middle of the floor. So I got on one end of the room. He got on the other end of the room. I'm betting that room was probably all of 12 to 15 feet long. And we got hunched down, and we were going to run after. I don't know what we were thinking, but the husband jumped up and threw his hands up and went, take this outside. So we just stopped, and I was like, yeah, I'll catch you next time. He was like, you ain't going to do nothing. It was so weird. Madison went over to hang out with this girl that moved into the park like 2 doors down. And this guy was like a bodybuilder dude, and he lived there too. And I knew they were drinking, and I was like, well, she's 12. She can't drink. And I'm right 2 doors down, so I'll be down here to check on her. He was like, that's fine. I'm not going to give any kids alcohol. I was like, okay. So then I go down there, and there's nobody there. And when they pulled up, they had Madison, my daughter, in the car when they finally got back. So I went down there when I saw the headlights, and I was so mad. And then the guy comes back out with his friend, and they get in the car, and they're getting ready to leave. And that guy, the passenger, looks up at me and says, why don't you shut up, you old bitch? And I was standing beside the car, and I reached in and said, I smacked him right in his face. And his face was like, oh, and he's trying to get out the door, and I slammed the door back shut on him. I was like, stay in the car. The other dude, the big dude, he got out on the driver's side, and he comes walking around, and I thought, I need to hit this guy. I'm going to have to hit this dude. And he come around the car to my side, and he got right up on me, and he was like this, and I just, boop, and I just hit him. I got him just perfect. I got him perfect. And he went right over the hood of his car, and I thought, he's going to get up, and he's going to hit me. So I ran over to him, and as he got up, I hit him again. I was like, I'm not going to let him get the upper hand. And he went flying up against the trailer, hit it so hard that he dented the trailer. There was a dent in the trailer. And then I had no more swings in me anymore because my hand was killing me. So I started walking away and said, I'm done. And he said, I'm not. And I turned around right in time for him to grab onto me. And he grabbed me by my throat, and he pushed me down to the ground. And right then my son ran up, and he saw it happening, and he jumped on the guy's back. And he just starts pummeling this dude. He's like pummeling the hell out of this guy, and he's choking me. And yeah, but he got off of me, and we went home. I went home, and I told Doug what happened, and Doug was like, told you to stay home. Told you not to go down there. So, he let me have my shenanigans because he knew how I was back then. I was off the chain. I was off the chain. That's one of the reasons why when I deal with people that are like that, I've been there. Don't give me your sass. I have my own. Yeah, it was good times. They were good times. I miss being in Florida so bad. Of course, I don't act like that now. That wouldn't be the way it is now. I just miss Florida. I miss her. I miss Sherry. I miss everybody. So those are my memories and my admission of shenanigans when I was absolutely unrestrained, uncontrolled. I just, I would fight anybody. There was a lady that lived on the opposite side of the road from us, and she was Mexican, and she didn't speak any English that I'm aware of, or I wasn't aware of at the time. And she was with her husband, and they had a little boy. And they kept to themselves. She was in school, he went to work, and they stayed to themselves. And they had a big old pickup truck. And one night, Doug was watching a fight on cable, like an HBO fight. And we had a fan on, and we had the door propped open because the AC wasn't doing very good. And it was a fairly okay night for the air outside. And I was standing in the doorway, and I was drinking. And it was just, staying home, just chilling with my old man. And I heard this woman just screaming. And I was like, I turned the fan off, and I was leaning out listening. And I said to Doug, I was like, what is that? And he goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I was like, come listen to this. He went, I don't hear anything. And I was like, so then he's, still watching his fight. And I heard it again. He was like, help me, help. And my eyes focused on the door at the very second that she screamed that final time. And I saw her door was open, her front door, and her fingers were just like right around the door like that. I could see her fingers, and the door was slammed on her fingers. No hesitation, which I never had hesitation. And I just shot down the steps and I ran over there. Right as the door completely slammed shut, I was walking up her steps, and I was banging on the door. And nobody, it got dead quiet. It was like dead, it was like no sound, like nobody was there. The lights were off and everything, except for like a lamp in the main room. That was it. I got sick of waiting, and I was like, he's in here killing her. So I popped the door open, and I knew I couldn't enter because I would have been breaking the law, so I didn't enter. I pushed the door open, and I started screaming for somebody to come. The place was meticulous. It was absolutely spotless, clean, very well kept. Everything was so nice. And I kept calling, is anybody there? Get out here right now. Get out here. And finally, she comes barreling down the hallway. Help me, help me. Out of the blue, like he had let her go. And her face was really red. And all I could think was he was holding his hand over her mouth. So I told her to get out. And she was like, my baby, my baby. And I was like, what's his name? She told me his name. I can't remember his name, but I kept calling him. I said, you go get in your truck. She said, I can't. I don't have any keys. So she stood over by her truck, and I called the baby, and he finally came. I still hadn't gone inside, and he came. I was like, come here. He came to me. I handed him to his mom, and she ran back over to her truck again. And then she was like, I don't have any keys. So I started calling for him. And I was going, keys, keys. And I don't know Spanish. I don't know how to speak Mexican. He wouldn't come out. He wouldn't come out. I said to her, does he speak English? She said, yes, some. So I said, you bring me the keys or I'm coming in to get them. And I have permission from your wife to come in. And nothing. So I finally started counting in Spanish. I got to 3. And no sooner had I hit 3, he comes strutting down the hallway with a big smile on his face. And he handed me the keys. And he, like that. And I was like, thank you. Have a lovely night. And I walked away, handed her the keys, and said, get the hell out of here. The next morning, she was back over there. And I looked at Doug and I said, you know what? He beat shit out of her. She's all beat up. I won't go over there again. I won't do it. Not going to do it. And that's not the only time that I've ever stepped in and put myself in harm's way to help a woman. But that was one of the times that happened in Florida that I will never forget. And I was just really pissed. I did what I could to cross the language barrier. I did what I had to do everything I could and not break the law. And a lot of good it did me, right? So she went right back to him. There were no more incidents. I can tell you that. Nothing else happened. I like to think it was because he knew that someone there was going to say something. But that was the first and only time that I ever saw anything happen over there. But I have all kinds of stories. My kids tell me I should just write a book. because I've gone through so many phases in my life. Like when I was a runaway and stuff like that. Oh, but anyway, thanks for listening to my shit, and hit the red button below and subscribe and hang out with me some more, and everyone have a good night. Bye.